Welcome back to our next episode. Now we're going to talk about Daytona and who's making the cut and who's not making the cut, based off the final race of the season. So we raced at Daytona this past weekend. We ended the season at Daytona just like we started. The season opener was crap. The season finale actually was really good, for a change, with this car specifically. Blaney came out of nowhere. That third line in totality was impressive at the end, but more impressive to me was that they could move all race long. Pretty much from the get-go, they weren't three wide and nobody could move. I mean, they started being aggressive early, which made a dramatic difference. Uh, so the big thing I noticed was that the tires mattered for the first time in a long time. You could see that handling is finally coming back to Daytona with this car. It hasn't really mattered with this car yet, and it seems like it finally was getting back to the way it used to be. So, with that, let's begin. What'd y'all think of the race?
Well, I it was appealing more so than a drafting style track does for me. But I think, and nobody's really mentioned this in other podcasts that I've listened to. I think again, it has to do with the fact that there was an early wreck that took out quite a few cars,
Yeah,
which made more lanes available later on in the race. You couldn't log jam it because there wasn't as many cars. I think that's what helped this race out. It was the fact that you took out a fifth of the field early in stage one.
yeah, I 100% agree. I think that, and I think Denny mentioned it a little bit in his yesterday, but I 100% agree. I've listened to Dale Jr.'s take, but by taking out a portion of the cars, you now give them the capability to spread out. You can actually form three lines when they get, 40 cars three wide versus, let's just say, 30 cars three wide. You can spread them out a lot more. And by doing so, we got a lot more passing for the lead, actual passing, not Mike, what's his nuts that used to be Hamlin's crew chief. I don't know. I can't think of his name right now, but uh, not artificial, stats, but real stats where you could say, okay, this guy got up there, he led some laps, then another group would put together a run, take it from him. You saw Jones get up there. Uh, you know, it just there was a lot more opportunities up there. So I thought Kyle Busch was going to be a factor, and honestly, when they got injured early, I was like, well, there goes that.
Yep.
So I really
Uh,
had high hopes, but again, when you place all your eggs in a basket of chaos, it's usually not a good recipe. It's good for the fans because usually clusterfuck arises, but it's not good for your championship hopes. But
Even SVG got up there and led for a bit.
yeah,
yeah, that was just crazy to see how well he ran there compared to the 500 or Talladega earlier this year. He is really coming around when it comes to his oval
yep.
abilities.
Like I know, and we'll get when we talk about who made the field, the final, who made the cut. We'll talk about his his progression, and everybody's writing him off. So when we talk about who's going to do what and everything, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I was impressed with his performance, and then man, I think Denny said it. I don't know about y'all, but when Cole Custer came flying out of that hole in the third lane, I was like, yes, drop a giant turd in this format right now. You've been like
Well,
present
I,
all season. Win this race, win your way in, kick out
I,
a JGR car or a 2311 car and last year's point season long
he wasn't going to get knocked out though. It was going to be Bowman.
or Bowman. But
It
like
was
either
going to
way,
be
I'm
Bowman.
like, yes,
Bowman's
knock
going to be
out
the one to
a
get
top
knocked
tier
out.
car and put in somebody who nobody has talked about all year. That's absolutely what
Now,
I'm going to see happen.
what I was thinking about that earlier when the 51 led a whole bunch of laps.
Yeah, yeah. Cody
The
Ware got up there.
51, and could you imagine it? that would have been worse than the 21 winning last year
Yeah.
because he is literally last in points.
Hmm.
Like you can't get any deeper than Cody Ware.
Well, and
So
honestly, what's the? I mean, if that would have happened, I mean, no offense, but what the fuck was the difference of what happened last week? I mean, none of the
well,
RFK fucking cars made it because fucking Austin Dillon went.
Yeah.
I
Well,
I
mean,
mean, you,
yes, but the RCR cars have had speed at points of time throughout the season. They've even
yeah,
contended for wins throughout the season. Yeah, Austin Dillon's back there, but a lot of those guys are back there from a hole early in the year, and managed to recover. Like Dillon's been clawing his way out of the hole. Brad Keselowski's been clawing his way
Brad
out of the
K's
hole.
definitely been clawing. I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
I wish he
yeah,
ran the whole
fuck.
season like this because you would have then knocked out Bowman.
oh yeah,
Well, I hopefully, I mean, he's hopefully this quiets some of the fucking guys saying,
Well,
"Oh, you know what? It's time for him to retire." I
well,
don't think it
honestly,
is.
I was about to bring that up. He's about to come up with an issue because I don't believe that charter he's leasing right now is going to be leasable next year. So what is he going to do? Because you have Ryan Priest right here who finished ahead of Busher, did he not, in points
They were right
for
together.
regular
I don't
season?
know.
Yeah. So you had them two side by side. Then you got Brad back here. Yes, he had a terrible beginning of the season, but you want to hold on to Ryan Priest. So what do you do? Do you keep yourself in, or do you bite the bullet and say I'm going to just run my team and put Priest in the sixth? That's what I would do,
yeah,
but that's just me.
yeah.
Brad's 40. How old is he? 44,
I think
45?
I think he
He's
just barely
younger than
turned
Denny,
40.
but he's in his 40s.
Help us out there, computer
I,
man.
I think he just barely turned 40, maybe 41.
Well, he was older when he started. That's why I was thinking he was with Benny. Is that Fia?
No.
Riley guy.
Here. You see that ugly motherfucker
You're
right there?
famous, Riley.
He is 41, where Denny Hamlin is 44, I believe.
Well, even so, I mean, you're running a company, you're running a business. Do you hold yourself and your pride, or do you
Come on.
look to the future? Because Ryan Priest is showing this year that he's getting it. He's got it. He's
Yep.
doing better than you are. So
Well, Hardwick retired at 47
Hmm.
because that was Priest's first year with RFK this year, and last year was the last one and the first one for Barry in the four. So he would have been 47. So I think, I mean, Denny's closer to being done than uh, Brad, but Brad's not far behind by any means. But they've also proved, depending on if I'm Brad and I'm running like Denny, then I'd keep going. But with the way Brad's season started, it's hard to decide. I mean, I agree with you. You got to choose. Am I going to run the risk of losing Priest, depending on what happens with the third charter? Or am I going to just go ahead and go the Jimmy Johnson route? Maybe I run some part-time starts in an open car, but I put Priest in my other car. Because we have
yeah,
no idea what all's going to happen with the charters, and that's a whole nother
with
discussion too.
RFK and limbo with legacy and everything, I question maybe they figure something else out with Kroger being so on board with them. Maybe
Yeah,
they can just run an open car for Priest, but I just
you're
I
okay.
don't see them doing that.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you guys, what was your all's take on the big one? There's some that feel that Larson started it. There's some that feel like that whether he would have bumped Bubba or not, it would have
If
I
he
mean,
happened
I
hadn't,
think
anyway.
I think based on what I saw, to me it looked like it was a byproduct of Larson was pushing Bubba. The Chevy's noses again are still more pointed than round. Bubba's car, how far into a run were we when that happened? Because tires did matter.
So
lap
it's like
20.
About
20,
20, so not
25.
really worn out yet. But I think it was a culmination of things. I think it was just racing, honestly. I don't think it was anyone's in particular fault. I think it was a culmination of this guy's down low. Bubba doesn't know how many people are up high. Larson's pushing, trying to give Bubba a push. The cars don't match up as well. When the Chevy pushing is like, say, a Ford where it's a more flat front. I think it was a bunch of things. But
Freddie did say that he did not tell him that Kyle Busch was down there. He only knew Logano was low. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like that he just was trying to crowd Logano down, and Logano couldn't go down because he
yeah,
had
and I
Kyle
think that's
with
the
him.
other thing. We have seen that once these cars get close to each other aerodynamically, they get sucked
They
around.
get pulled.
Because
Yeah,
later, when Joey's up front leading, it looks like Jones touches him, but he never actually touched him, and he spins out right in front of him, comes across, and manages not to collect the whole field. And then he idiotically spun himself through the grass and beached his car. And so,
ruined a great finish.
yeah, ruined what was going to be a great finish. It still ended up being a great finish, but it was going to be something. I will say, based on the new information that Freddie talked about this week, like you could tell that NASCAR knows when the drivers are purposely fucking around to try and draw a caution, like, and which ones are like doing it, and they're starting
Yeah,
to talk about it more because they talked about it in the background. You could hear it. I guess the spotters could hear it when they were talking about Hamlin and for Logano, and they were
yep.
not very happy with it. So I'm curious if they'll say something.
Why did he do that? Why did you stay on the track when your car was going 5 miles an hour? Yeah, like
Yep, shredding rubber and everything. Like, yeah, I agree. Um, so
and I will give NASCAR this credit that they are trying to do single car spins differently. They're seeing if they get under control instead of throwing a caution just for a car that's spinning. There's no reason for that. So
yeah,
Logano could have went down pit road, and you saw that he turned right and then beached himself, like you said. So
yeah,
there was no reason for that to be a caution.
nope.
Zero.
So I will say the one thing I noticed, so with Logano's spin in particular, so we've seen it at the mile and a half tracks. And I think that's the first time. I'm trying to remember if we've seen it more than that. We probably haven't. I just have to go back and look where the cars just flat out step out on you in at Daytona, kind of like they did for Logano. But what led to Logano's is so in the
No, hey,
past,
get out here.
so in the past, Logano has been
Hey.
able to lead line by line, and he was doing it all night once he got up there, like he was leading in the Gen 6 car. Except now when he did it, he just happened to change lanes at the wrong, basically turned to change lanes at the wrong time, and the back end just went around where before he had that sidewall to lean on and maybe could have caught it. So I guess what I'm saying is the car does seem like it's coming back toward the Gen 6, at least for this race. It appeared to be coming back towards the way the Gen 6 raced with how you control lanes and pass, but
He that I mean
still is
that
light
was
in the back end.
that was horrible timing on him trying.
Yeah.
It looked like he aimed to come down the banking, but he did it at the wrong time.
Yeah.
He needed about not even a quarter, maybe an eighth of that corner beforehand, because he turned left right as it started to transition, and I
Mhm.
think he just lost all grip on that right rear.
Yeah.
If he
They
would have
got
got just
that's where the car gets light in the back end, right there.
yep, yeah,
But
because the
Now,
banking starts falling away.
I wonder how often that would happen if NASCAR did my idea of taking the spoiler away on these tracks. How often that would happen?
Every corner and the fucking
yeah, but they don't force them to lift. Then
Yeah.
yeah.
you
But
get slingshot runs.
you know what we'd see? We'd start seeing and we already see them anyways, but we'd start seeing the big wrecks in the fucking trioval again too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the race was pretty good once the first caution happened and we have that everything out. When we get down to the end, we have that final restart and everybody's lining up, and you've got 5 to 7 different guys that need to win to advance into the playoffs.
He had
Thing,
7 of the top 10 hadn't
yeah,
won yet
the
this
Hey,
year.
thing
you
that
had Haley, Jones, Priest, uh,
Suarez,
Suarez was the last lap
Suarez,
deal. Suarez and the 41
Custer,
were the last 2 laps.
Busher was
They
there.
got nowhere.
Busher, yep, Busher had
Yeah.
found his way back up there. So where I was going with this is, my first observation was, okay, Bowman's out. He's not sure if he's going to make it. Then, we've had Reddick's troubles leading up to it. Then Bowman and them, they idiotically stay up in there. They should have fucking fell back instead of being stupid. Like, you've got this guy down. Don't volunteer yourself to, give the points back. But coming to that, as we start that final restart, you've got two Hendrick cars. It was Priest, the two Hendrick cars. I don't remember who was between them, and then Byron. What frustrated me from an HMS fan, because everybody always complains about, oh, if it's Larson, then it's this or whatever. This was further proof, and you and I talked about it briefly, that those four do not like each other. They do not get along. And of the four, I think Bowman's like probably the most mellow, could care less, but the other three clearly don't like each other. Because if I'm Rick and I'm Jeff, yesterday's competition meeting, I would have been reaming their asses. One of my cars is in there, and the name above the door matters more than any of you four motherfuckers, because I was here before you, and this company is gonna be here long after you. That money that pays your salary comes from these charters. These charters, I need them in the top 16. And you
Yep.
other three need to learn how to fucking work together.
Yeah.
Because Chase didn't push Larson. Byron didn't push Chase. When they got
and
around,
they were all three lined up.
they all three lined up. They
Well,
shoved Priest, and then they didn't fucking stay together and try and win the race. And the only way to guarantee your guy in, your fourth teammate who's sitting on his fucking couch in his RV, is for you three to work together and make sure you win the race. And
The
you
last
don't
lap
together.
and a half, I am yelling at the TV, Chase, push Chase, and he just kept probably about
half a
I'd
car
say
length,
about
quarter car length.
two tire widths or three, the whole, roundness of the tire. He was at least a half car length behind at all times. I'm like, what is he doing? And these cars suck up really good.
Yep,
And I know that.
They all did it all race.
Yep, and that's the same thing I was saying when I was watching. I was like, okay, they shucked Priest. Now they're going to all three push to the front, and they're going to make sure that one of them wins it so that Bowman gets in. Because if one of them wins, there are already three existing winners. They can't possibly bump him out. Instead, they don't work together. And while they're dicking around in the second line, losing ground to the bottom line, who needs to win, here comes fucking out of nowhere Cole Custer, like a fucking rocket.
That was another thing.
Blaney behind him, and I was like, oh shit.
I'm riding on board with Larson, and you hear the spotter go, the outside line's coming, 3 back, 2 back, and this is how fast it's happening. 3 back, 2 back, 1 back, half. They're there. Like, move up the fucking track and block the damn line.
Yep.
Like,
nobody was willing.
Nobody, not Chase, not Byron, not Larson, none of them moved up the fucking track to block the line. What are you doing?
Yep.
What the fuck?
And so I said this same thing we're talking about right now in our old group, fellas, that you and I were in, Blake, and everybody disagreed with me. I'm like, say what you want. I said, but Penske, JGR, at the time SHR, they all understood what I'm saying, that the name above the goddamn door matters more than the name over the door of your car. We need to win in order for we to continue to be in business and be profitable. Money makes speed. I need the 4 charters in there.
Now, I do wonder.
Penske understands that these races working together. JGR understands working together.
I was looking at
Fenway
this
looked at it same way
during the race. I was looking at this, and I wonder if I'd have to go back and watch the onboards to see if anything was said. But they had to have been thinking about points. Going into Daytona, 2nd to 6th could have been flopped all the way.
Yeah.
And Larson had to finish at least one spot ahead of Chase. So I wonder if Chase was told, to try to, you want to try to help Bowman, but you're also thinking about a championship. So it ended up, Larson could have finished 2nd if he'd finished ahead of Ryan Blaney by 2 spots. Well, we saw that didn't happen. So, but you kind of wonder if playoff implications were in Chase's mind Byron could give a shit less because he already had number one locked up. But you wonder if that was one of the things that was talked about. And maybe that's why Chase wasn't pushing
Well,
because he
and you
was trying
say
to figure
Byron
out a
had
way
number one
around.
locked up. Byron didn't have number one locked up. If Larson wins that race,
No, he did.
Larson's
He won
got.
it last year.
Well, no,
Yeah,
no.
he
What I'm
won it
saying
last
is,
week.
well, no. What I'm saying, yes, he
He
had
had
the
the
first
regular
position.
season.
Right, he had those 15 bonus points locked up. What I'm saying is, if Larson had won that race, it would have, yes, it would have elevated him in the final season standings, but that's also five more race win bonus points, which would now
Mhm.
have given Larson plus 31 versus Byron's plus 26.
So it actually given him plus 37 or 30
He won a stage.
33.
No, no. What I'm saying
It
is
would
right
have
now,
no,
yeah,
no, no, no. It would have been plus 33 because he would have been second in points. Second in points gets
right.
10
Okay.
bonus points instead
So
of
plus
8.
33. So instead of being right now tied with Byron at plus 26, he'd have been plus 33 if he had won that
34,
race. So it hurt him
34,
in two
wouldn't it?
ways.
Mm-hmm.
So
34 because he won a stage.
Well,
yeah,
that's already in there. That's already.
yeah, that's already in there. So
Okay.
I'm just saying if he had won that race, that's 5 points for the win plus the elevated points position. So you add that all together, he's
Yeah,
plus 31 or more over the rest. That's a big difference at the
yeah.
end of the day.
You
When you're
kind of
talking about,
wonder if those two teams were thinking about that because you don't want Larson to get a buffer over you, whether whether your teammates or not.
yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I mean that was my biggest observation is I'm watching the other teams are working together and the Fords are working together and these guys can't get their head out of their ass. Like
Nope.
they're very, very
And
lucky that Blaney won that race and Bowman made it in.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think I think it kind of goes back to a little bit of what Alan was talking about before is the name
yeah,
on the building means more than the name over the fucking door on your race car. And to an extent, I don't necessarily know that that's even the right argument either because of the scenarios Blake was talking about. That's having to come. I'm sorry, but those guys aren't keeping track of that while they're in the fucking race car. That's coming from a
but the
fucking pit
teams
box.
are. Yeah, Cliff
I'm saying
Cliff knew exactly what was going on.
yeah, you've got a problem in your you've got a problem on top of your pit box as more than
Oh,
you
I
do a
agree. I
fucking
think
problem
Yeah,
the crew
in
chiefs are
behind
just as
the
guilty of
wheel.
this. Like, but
Yeah.
I will say we did see at which one was it? Was it Atlanta? Yes, where Byron was told to work with Larson and he didn't. That was Atlanta,
Oh,
right?
but
Or
oh, this
Dega.
that was Talladega last fall.
No, 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 no. This was more recent, where he said, "I'm going to go with my teammate." Was that Pocono? It was
Oh,
recent.
you're talking about Indianapolis.
Yeah, sorry, it was Indy. Okay, that's what it was.
yeah.
So at Indy, Byron was said on the radio, we're going to go with the five." And then they line up on the other fucking line. So this is yet again like
Twice.
there's issues
Twice.
inside of HMS and they're not understanding how to work together. And it's going to cost them a championship in my
Yeah.
mind. I, you know, yeah, you got four really strong cars. Bowman was the most consistent point winner across the playoffs last year, hands down in total in terms of just like consistency. You've got two out of your four cars have are tied for the most points starting the playoffs. And if these guys don't work together come Talladega, like they're in trouble.
So we're talking about points. I want to bring it up. I brought it up to
Yep.
you yesterday, Alan. A new rule this year helped Larson finish
Yes.
third in
Yep.
points. So 4 races this year.
And help Denny.
He had been involved in a wreck or an issue, and then come back out on track. And ironically, 3 of the 4 of them were road courses, I believe.
Yep.
They might have all been road courses, but regardless of that, they they got the Xfinity fastest lap point, and because of that point, they were able to finish third in points instead of fourth. That is one extra point towards. That's why he's tied with Byron right now, and that's why he's technically the point leader because he has 3 wins to Byron's 2. That's why he's the point leader right now is because of those fastest laps, which is That's what they mean by every point matters. You need to go after every point, and I'm glad Cliff put those cars back together and said, "Let's go for it," because it got him third in points. Could have very easily got him second, depend if they would have got pushed better by their teammates.
Yeah. Well, I was going to go look here real quick. So total team Cup Series. Okay. So let's see. All right. Total driver for yeah. So Larson had four of them. Denny had six. McDowell had three. Dinger had three. Byron had two. Like those 6 points for Denny. Again, he missed a race. So instead of receiving only 1 point by having those six, let's just say he finishes. You take those 6 points, you add them to his missing of Mexico. Now it's not like he didn't start Mexico at all. So he didn't forfeit an entire 61 points. He forfeited, 54 or 55.
Yeah.
So that in itself, again, helped pad his position to stay with, because going into this race, he had the opportunity. He also could have made it to second. Like they were all that
Yeah.
close together. Now, the probability versus possibility being what they are, but I mean, he was in that conversation. So
He was
those
ahead
fast
of Larson
points.
going into that
Yep.
race.
Yep. Those points matter. And nobody's been talking about it. Like you said, like they mention it, and you can go see it. The points here, that's 6 points. That's a race win. 4 points. That's almost a race win. Those 3 points. That's stages. Those are all your bonus points. Now they don't carry into the playoffs, but they help you toward that final goal of your seeding. So,
Yep.
and there's still 9 more of them on the table that will be a big deal by the time we get to the cutoff for this year for the final four. So,
Yep. Possibly.
let's see what else.
Larson had one at Bristol that got taken away because Allmendinger came out and had an amazing lap at
Yeah.
Bristol. It got take Larson almost had a perfect day, and Allmendinger came out in the last run and put a lap down and took that. That could have been one more point.
Yeah. So, what'd you think of anything else in the Cup race? I mean, I was really blown away by the move Blaney made. The finish looked awesome. I was happy to see him not wad a bunch of cars up because I loathe
Yeah, me
super
too.
speedway racing from that standpoint. When you tell the teams you want to save them money, and then the very next thing we do is we go in there just tear a bunch of shit up for no reason.
I think that Custer made a huge mistake by leaving the bumper of Blaney.
Yeah.
Custer would have won that race if he'd stayed in front of Blaney, no doubt.
Well, he went down there and he tried to deal with, was it Logano?
Haley,
Haley. Sorry, yeah. He went down there and he gave up a lot of his momentum messing with Haley.
yep, he should have
And
just stayed where he was.
yep, they were
Well,
going to
they had a big enough run. If he would have just stayed instead of trying to go around Haley, which is where Haley tried to block, and they both run down to the bottom of the thing. That's where he
Yep.
left the bumper of the 12. Push him out ahead of you, then get a bigger fucking run on him. But you didn't.
That or teach him a lesson. Ship his ass. Like you had that much momentum. If Haley chooses to block when you're coming with that full head of steam, like me, I've always liked Brad Keselowski's mentality. You block, you pay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, then, I mean,
It would have sucked for
Brad,
everybody else, but I mean, if you're willing to do that, fuck it. I'm
Brad,
sending you.
yeah, Brad and Tony were the ones that were huge proponents of that. Where if you're going to run me down to the yellow line, then fuck it, I can't go below the yellow line. I think even
Well,
Biffle,
that all stems from Talladega in was 07 or 08.
Oh wait, yellow subway car.
08. Yeah.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, because Tony starts his own team in 09.
Yep.
So that was the second year of Gibbs. That was the first year of Gibbs in the Toyota because the subway car was a Camry and not a Chevy.
Yeah, that's Regan Smith's first win got taken away because Stewart.
run him down below the yellow line.
Yep.
Yeah. Today,
And he
Stewart
didn't.
would have been penalized and Wigan would have actually won the race.
Yep.
So that part's nice. So that's all I got for Cup. The next thing is the Xfinity race. So you get Zilich is hurt. So then Mr. Kligerman steps in and he wins the race. It's not like Connor turned him over a car that was in the lead at the time. It was just, he had to start the race to get it. So I think that was awesome for you know,
Other than he qualified on the pole, so he literally handed in the car that was in the lead at the time.
well, yeah, but I mean, when he came down pit road, it's not like you came down and you had a lap and like you're starting from, you go right back out in first. He had to come from the back, manage
Yeah.
all the stuff, get there. Like I was just really, really impressed
Uh,
with you know, what he was able to do.
I have a
About
huge
that.
problem with something from this race, though. Very
Okay.
huge.
Yep.
I didn't get to see much of it because right now I'm having an issue watching CW with my DirecTV, which I won't have much longer. But
Yep.
so Connor gets the race win. He
Yep.
gets the race points because he started the race, but he doesn't get the 5 bonus points for winning. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. You get the race points, you keep the point lead, but you don't get the 5 bonus points for winning.
I don't think
It
Connor should have gotten
doesn't.
any points. I think he should
He
have.
started the race. That's the fucking rule. That's my problem. The fucking
Right.
rule says you get the points if you start the race,
No, I
but
got
you
that
don't
part.
get the playoff points.
I agree.
That
It's all
doesn't
the
make
points or none of
sense.
the points. I think the team should get their points, but I don't think Connor should have received a single point. I think he should have
He started
received
the race.
the
It's
eligibility
always
for
been like that.
starting the thing. So you either get all of them or none of them. If you're going to give him
Um,
the win in his checkbox and not give it to Parker Kligerman as the driver of record, then you got to give him the damn 5 playoff points too.
Well, that's
That's
no
just how
different
it
than
goes.
Eric Almirola won Milwaukee and then win the race.
No, I don't. I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying if you're giving him one, you got to give him all of them. And I
Yeah,
think
so
it's
why is
broken right now.
that? Like that blew me away when I found out that he didn't get those points. I mean, I don't see him needing those points,
No.
but the fact that he doesn't have them really bothers me.
Well, and at this,
well,
like looking at it, I don't
the whole
understand it.
thing,
So
it doesn't make sense. I mean, I understand exactly what Alan's saying. If you're going to allow him to keep the points lead by giving him the points that the cars accrued throughout the fucking race, why not just give him the championship points as well?
yep.
What?
There's no reason not to. That's
Yeah, that's fucking retarded.
Yeah. That I think we all agree. Like, I don't understand if you're giving him race participation points, why is if the car won, why is he not getting the race win bonus points too? Again, the car won. He did get in it. Under your current rules, he should have received them. I don't know how I would like to see in the rule book where it says
Where the
based on the
provision
waiver
says
that you can start the race, you get the regular points, but you can't accrue the bonus points. Like it's not like he was penalized for conduct like Hill. Like this is a medical issue. Fell off the car in victory
we
lane.
all saw it happen.
Yep, the whole world saw it happen.
head, shoulders, knees, and neck. Jesus Christ, what the hell was he
Yep.
thinking?
So yeah, I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me either. I'm right there with you. You either give him all the points or you give him none of them. But like the all partial points don't make any damn sense whatsoever. Um,
And it goes again. You've got a
and
driver like Parker Kligerman that can win races, especially plate races, apparently, and he's commentating instead of driving because it pays more to talk.
yep, yep, the other part of that equation, 110%.
Well, pays more to talk, and people. It also goes to show that the money is going to put you in a seat more than the talent will. He was never able to get a legitimate ride.
He had it. He had a legitimate ride. He just couldn't win it.
Yeah,
Which
that
it
just
wasn't. It was. Hold on. It wasn't as legitimate as the '88. No,
Yeah,
but it. I mean, what's the kid that got in that car this year? He's
Sanchez.
won it. He's already won in it.
Yep,
Dirty Sanchez won a restrictor plate race. Yeah,
yep. But
just saying.
but it's built off the back of Kligerman's work in that
Yeah,
team.
just saying.
Yep, I got you.
Just saying.
Which I don't have that high opinion of Nick Sanchez. Like I haven't seen anything that like, oh man, he's awesome.
What's the only other win that car has?
Reddick,
I know, but
I
where?
believe. Uh, I think it was a mile and a half, but I can't remember. Was it
I
Charlotte?
don't remember.
No,
I'm pretty sure it was California
no,
before it shut down.
it was later in the season.
But yeah,
I thought it was one. I thought it was the last race at Fontana.
so I'm glad for Kligerman. Once again, it doesn't go in the record books for him, but that's twice this year. He's the Daytona man, so I mean that's good for him. Like he's pretty much said like he's retired from full-time driving, so even though he's won those two races, anybody coming at him with offers, he's already said like he's not doing that anymore.
I
Kind
wonder.
of like Landon Castle, like at a certain point you have to realize it, which I told Blake this and I'm looking forward to
It was
talking to you
Texas
about it.
Motor Speedway.
No.
Was it really?
Yep.
So before
I
we
wonder
get to the would be all right, here's who missed it, and then what we think about the playoff contenders and everything. I wanted to ask you this question, Chris. So we're 26 races in now.
Yes, I will go up to Parker Kligerman and ask him what is it like to be a driver that's actually won a race in all three series and not get credit for it.
And get credit for none of it. You are the one of the few on the list that are not on a list that you should be.
Yeah.
Where did he win a cup race?
Fucking, he should have. Oh no, it wasn't a cup race then. Never mind. Yeah, I was thinking the Roval, but yeah, that was Xfinity as well.
Yep. So the question
Okay.
I have for you, Chris, is, and this is something I told Blake, and I was like, I'm gonna see what Chris thinks about this. Do you think that Corey LaJoy is done? Like his chances of getting back to Cup are over. There's no chance he gets back to Cup ever again, full time, and with a good
The
team.
Cup?
To Cup with a good team.
I think it depends on the rumor that I just saw today.
Okay. Well, I haven't heard that rumor yet.
You gonna
That I've seen.
enlighten us?
No.
Yeah. Fucking, it's rumored that Corey LaJoy is going to be in a Kaulig Dodge.
Okay.
Truck. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
They're called Rams.
Well, you know what the fucking meant. Still a fucking Dodge, you fucking
It's a Dodge.
literal piece of shit.
Well, it's Stellantis or whatever the fuck they're called, but yeah,
So,
Stellantis or Stellantis or Stegosaurus,
Mylanta, whatever the fuck it is.
Mylanta. Yeah, exactly. But my point was, okay, so earlier this year, Corey went at Daytona and said, I'm not going to run full time, yada yada. Got called an ass clown, put his foot in his mouth by by them. Then he comes back and he runs some truck races. But at this point in his career, with his age, this is where I think it is. You know, when you look at who he's aged around, he came in the same time as Bubba, Larson, Blaney. He was all in that same class. And you being a LaJoy fan, I feel like you pay more attention to his career than probably anybody else that we know does. So I was curious, do you think at this point, having stepped out, not running full time this year, and again, pays more to probably work for Prime for a handful of races than it does for him to run all year. Do you see him going back full time? Sounds like there might be an opportunity there with Kaulig with a Ram, but do you see him, even if he wins a bunch of races in the truck, with the people that are coming behind him that are younger, where he could get back into a competitive Cup car based on the outings that he's had up to this point? Like I feel like, first off, to be clear, I'm not rooting against him. I feel like he got fucking robbed at Spire of not getting the opportunity to see what he could as an experienced guy to do something with Rodney. They lost Rodney, and it sounds like they're going to lose Haley or ditch Haley in favor of somebody else next year. So
yeah, which is weird because that's who are you going to get?
But it sounds like they're going to put the rumor is it's going to be Suarez. So if you didn't believe in Haley enough to keep him past one season of growing with you, but you threw the guy out that was like employee number 4 and didn't even bother to put him, who almost won a race without the championship level crew chief, and didn't even give him a shot. Like now, like I said, I feel like Corey got robbed, first off. But now that he's out, I think it's going to be very hard for him to climb back to the top. So I think his career as a Cup driver is done, other than the one-off stuff he's been doing. I just don't see him, unless the Dodge opportunity manifests itself, I don't see him sliding into one of these seats that's out there. There's too many people
Yeah.
behind him with Brent Cruz and Sanchez and Zilich, and like there's just too many other people right back there that are coming that are unknowns that I think people would take a chance with at this point.
Potentially. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a legitimate question that I don't necessarily have a legitimate answer for, because I'm still confused why, even from his aspect, you Spire changed everything on that team, down to originally down to well, they changed the entire team. The one thing that you brought back, which didn't seem to make a difference, because I honestly don't think it was. Everyone's like, oh well, maybe Rodney's just done. No, I really don't think fucking Rodney was the problem there.
No, I don't either.
There's a big problem with that team and fucking Spire, and then all of a sudden Rodney left, and you just immediately put fucking Sparks right back in. I'm sorry, I think Sparks is good, but I don't think Sparks is what you need.
No. Now,
And now even Sparks is going to leave. Even said of I'm done crew chiefing at the end of the year. I'm going to be the competition director now.
well, so Spire's doing a lot of stuff in the back end. They've got that game bridge, big investment and everything. And one of the things that I've been waiting to see is, how do all these pieces moving around impact their long-term health? You got two fast guys over there, and then you got Haley. And Haley showed some speed, but I think it's too little, too late. Where
Well,
they were
but
mentioning Suarez is on his way out. He's got a good crew chief, but I don't think that's going to be the crew chief for Zilich. Honestly, my prediction is that Rodney comes out of retirement at the end of this year and he becomes Connor Zilich's crew chief.
I think Zilich brings who he has in Xfinity.
I don't think he can. That's JRM employee.
That's JRM employee. Yeah,
they got all the money in the world.
Not that they couldn't, but I don't think you're going to see him go from there to Trackhouse. But
well, I'm still looking. Hold on, I'm still stuck on this Corey thing, because for me, okay. Granted, he has a couple wins in the Cup Series. What the fuck has Suarez proved? He's been in 3 of the biggest fucking rides or biggest teams in the fucking series and only has 2 wins to show for it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I'm not saying Suarez is the better move over Haley. I mean, he is over Haley, but I don't think he's the solution to Spire's problem. You've already got a veteran over there.
Why not give Corey? Well, I mean, if you're gonna rebuild that fucking team, why not at least you still have Corey on the fucking payroll, because he's running the rest of your truck races for you.
Yeah, and he was under contract.
Why not? Why not?
So
why not give him the shot? Yeah. Why not give him a shot at the fucking ride again? It legitimately give the kid a chance in that fucking car. On the same hand, I'm also confused as to why, if they were willing to do that to you, why are you still fucking showing the loyalty?
So you and I didn't get a chance to talk about this on the last one. You had to go. Yeah. I wanted to ask you that very thing. Like, I don't understand it. Yes, they're paying you, but they were paying you to sit out. I would have just said, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm getting paid my Cup salary, and I don't have to run Cup or do any of the schedule shit. I got paid my prime salary for 5 races. I didn't do TNT at all. And I'm good. I would have stayed home with my kids. Like, I don't understand, especially after you said trucks weren't worth your time. Like, I would not have then signed back up to run a truck for the very people who shit canned me and didn't even give me a legitimate shot with a championship level crew chief. Instead, you wasted it on a guy whose one win is a rain win.
And my biggest fucking question, and I'm sure we are never going to hear the answer. What the fuck did Hendrick have to do with the whole fucking thing?
Mm-hmm.
Other than you have an alliance, if Hendrick ultimately wanted fucking Haley in there, why isn't fucking Hendrick stepping up and saying, you know what? I'm sorry, but we fucked up.
Yep.
If that ultimately had to do with a Hendrick decision, I'd be even more fucking pissed if I was Corey.
I'd be pissed if I was Corey, and honestly, I bet you Brad Keselowski's sitting over there like, thank you. I got Priest. You took Haley from me, but it turns out he's not as good as we all thought he was.
Yeah.
Because even though Hocevar's made an ass of himself all year running all over people, he's been close to winning several races and been running up front.
Well,
And
and honestly, I never saw the talent from Haley even in the Xfinity series. And when he was running for Colleague in the Xfinity series, they actually had the faster cars at that point, and he
yeah,
still didn't go out and win races in them.
no, he could only win points races, or I mean, plate races, and that was it. And
Yeah.
he did win a bunch of them. So, okay.
So I don't know. I think ultimately, if Corey's smart, you fucking eat crow. You fucking admit you're eating that fucking crow. You go to the truck series, and I'm not saying it can't be done because go put yourself in a position to go win the fucking races and get yourself back.
Well, I think the one thing that will benefit if Corey does end up in a Ram truck, and it could go either way, but they don't have to go develop an engine, so that's nice. So now you're just talking about aero stuff, really, and some other stuff. I think that going to Colleague gives you a fresh, brand new team perspective that's not Spire. So you're starting from scratch. And because you're the only Ram team, it sounds like so far, I don't know what else be. You're getting sole manufacturer support. There's no divvying up of resources. This is all of Ram's money to start their way back in, or Dodge's money, start their
They're
way
going to
back
come out
into the
swinging.
sport. They're going to come out swinging. So if you're going to have a chance at success, you're never going to have a better opportunity if I'm Corey than you're going to have right now if you do end up in one of those trucks.
He
Because
needs to
honestly,
win or he's done.
Yeah, oh, I
well,
agree.
yeah.
I agree. If he goes in that one of those trucks
Well,
and he doesn't win, his career's over.
and honestly,
He's got to take advantage of the fact that Heim's gone. Heim's
Yep.
gone. The whole series is wide open.
Yep. It's time, baby.
The big thing is, for me, honestly, is the sad part is him fucking. Well, that's another thing I'd understand about him to go finish running the races. Granted, I understand they were qualified for the chase. That or no, I'm thinking of the wrong fucking.
You're thinking about
I was thinking of the 45.
The truck is qualified for the playoffs.
Yeah, but the truck is qualified for the playoffs. The guy that went to, but that's what
you're
it
talking about
was.
Stuart Friesen.
No, no. Who left the fucking 7 and went to
Oh,
run?
I know what you're talking about. Yes, the one that said I'm going to go run Heim's truck next year, and they were like, "All right, you're out of here now."
Yes. God damn, I can't remember his name. That truck's the reason why Corey's finishing the season is because they're going for the owners championship. The only problem is,
Yeah, but they're taking the owner points from the 07. Not that's what the truck that Corey's running. I don't know what number it is, but the owner points is from the 07, not the other truck.
that doesn't make fucking sense. Why would you do that when that truck's the
Majeski,
one
no,
that's
not
that?
Majeski, not Ankrum, not Hemrick, not Smith. Honeycutt.
Yeah,
Yeah, Honeycutt doing his move already.
It
Yeah,
makes sense because you have playoff points that way.
yeah.
Because Larson won in it, Byron won in it, etc. Multiple people have, or Kyle Busch won in it. Multiple people have won that truck. Therefore, you have 15 playoff points going towards playoffs.
So,
well,
but
But
since we're talking about trucks, before we get into Cup, I do want to talk about this stat right here. This is insane. Corey Heim plus 62. The next guy plus 23. Plus
no,
60.
are their playoffs set?
Yeah, their playoffs are
yes.
set. Their playoffs are set. He's plus
Plus
62 to the
the cut line.
To the cut line. Plus 62 to the cut line. He's actually 65 to the good.
Now, do you think there's any chance that Heim is the rumor we heard last week that Heim's going to the 7
To which? To the 7? Like they would do a loan?
Cup car? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't I don't see any value in putting him personally. I would not waste my time putting him in Xfinity unless it's going in a JRM car.
Well, yeah, it's
If
so
I'm Denny, the
Bristol's
only way
about
I'm putting him in Xfinity is if I can put him right behind where Zilich just got out of in the 88.
Toyota's not going to allow him to go to that team.
I
I don't think
mean,
they will either. I don't think Toyota will.
I can see them letting him go to Aspire because of the fact that it's not a team, but not Junior Motorsports.
I don't see
It's
it
just
happening,
different.
period.
It's different.
well, I here's why I think it could work. Because just like how Zilich is on loan from Trackhouse, Denny wants to put him in the best chance for success. So if he can't put him in one of the JGR cars full time that JGR's got a seat for, that would be a good seat because he knows that. I mean, he's friends with Dale.
Well,
He knows Dale's not going to try and steal him or keep him, just like Dale's not trying to keep Zilich. I understand this is a 1 year deal, and he's here to learn and to prove himself. So I
if
think
you
it's
remember
not like he's
right,
going to
William
Rick Hendrick,
Byron was a
for
Toyota
example.
guy. He was this KBM, and then he went to Junior Motorsports. And where's he at now?
No, I see what you're saying, but Toyota also has a bad habit of raising talent and not having anything to do with them too. So
Yeah.
hello, Larson. You know, hello, Bell.
Honestly,
And
the sad part is, I think the best thing that could happen to Heim is Toyota shit the bed on this one.
yeah,
Well, possibly, but he's he's obviously not in the 11 truck next year. So where's he going
But
to go?
Denny's gonna fight it though. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily want to spend that much time trying to fucking figure it out because I think a lot of it's gonna stem from what happens with this fucking lawsuit, and we're not gonna find
yeah,
out shit from that till fucking December.
yeah.
The lawsuit
So,
don't matter because the 35 isn't going to happen.
well, all I'm saying is for Heim, the thing I wanted to touch on for the truck series, not just that he's 62 up. If he doesn't win the championship, if he doesn't make the final four,
There's a
you
problem.
have a very serious fucking problem with your playoffs, even if
Yes,
it's at the lower series.
you're taking the 2006 Patriots and not making the Super Bowl with
Yep,
them.
yep.
That's
Like,
the only analogy I can think of on that one.
Yeah, there's no way that truck's not making the final four.
if it doesn't,
There's a
like
way.
it would
There's a
be.
way.
I'm
You
not
get
saying
two
you can't
races,
piss away
two
62
races
points.
back in a row with a bad race, two bad races in a row in the same round, and you're fucked.
Yep, he could pull a Larson earlier when he was with JGR, where he dropped engine in two races in succession, and would have, and after that it threw him out, and he easily could have won the championship that year had he not had those two bad races to start the playoffs.
Who?
Larson, when he was still with JGR, this was what
You mean
2017 or 2018,
CGR?
ECR, whatever, EGR.
CGR. Chip Ganassi Racing.
What did I say? TGR?
Joe Gibbs.
DG.
Joe
You
Gibbs.
said
JGR.
JGR.
Okay, either way.
I
Either
was
way.
like,
My point
I
is
did not know he was with Joe Gibbs.
it's not impossible for somebody to go in there and shit the bed and cough up 62 points in the first two races, but it's highly unlikely that that's going to happen. So, all right. So let's get to who made it and who didn't make it. So we've got our round of 16 to start this weekend at
Well,
Darlington. Go ahead.
with this, I wanted to kind of play. Who's your one that you're just flabbergasted didn't make it?
Well, let me go back over here to the regular points. Of the people that are outside the top 16, Busher, Priest, Gibbs, Bush, Allmendinger, Brad, McDowell, Jones, Carson, Suarez. Of all the ones that didn't make it, Brad Keselowski is probably my biggest surprise. Now, not because of the first half, but because of the second half, like when he came on, like I said, if he had run like that earlier in the year, I think he's in there easily. Um, so he's mine.
Yeah. My well, go ahead, Chris.
I don't know. I was afraid with all the problems they had at the beginning of the year that Brad wasn't going to get back. I mean, I think honestly, not even just Brad. Mine would be the simple fact that RFK as a whole. Not fucking one of them. For as consistent and as fast as those cars were all year, I'm sorry, it shows the
I think I know what you're
it
trying to think. What it
it,
does
it show
show,
it
it
it shows
shows
how
that
bad this
poor
fucking playoff
performance.
system.
Well, not just the playoff system. It shows how detrimental bad finishes are compared to positive finishes. Like, look at what Brad did the second half versus the first half. The first half, he dug the hole so deep that the second half, he made it back to 19th. No, he finished the regular season in 22nd after the seeding. So really, he finished the regular season 21st, 18th or 19th. He dug out a 33rd, I think, at the time after Daytona. If I go back, let me see if it'll even let me show after Daytona. Yeah, so that's, I wish I could
But
just drop it down
but
and
my
say
big
show
thing
me.
is I'm talking about the win and you're in bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I'm
I
just
mean,
talking
how
about
how
even without the win and you're in, like two people made it on points. And I think,
Chris Buescher missed the playoffs, and he finished the regular season 10th in points,
yeah. And where was Priest?
14th. He was
And so
243 back to Chris Buescher's 208 back.
and so you had, even though he's got 4 wins on the year, or 3 wins on the year, four
Four.
wins on the year, you have
He's
fucking
25th.
SVG is 25th in the points.
Mm-hmm.
You have fucking Austin Dillon, which is what, 22nd in the points, 21st in the points.
Austin Dillon was 26th.
yep.
He's that far back? Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
he was 30th when he was like 29th or something when he won.
And then who else is in there that's behind both of them in the points?
Well, Bubba Wallace finished 11th in points. Logano finished 12th. Chastain 13th. Cindric 15th. Um, Barry 21st.
Yeah, Barry. That was the other one I was trying to think of. I was like, I know there's another one that wasn't even in the fucking top 20 that was behind those guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, other than a few things, other than a few flashes of brilliance, what I'm sorry, that doesn't qualify you. One fucking win shouldn't qualify you for the chase. It just shouldn't.
I I agree. I agree. So
I'm sorry, but even 4 wins with SVG. I mean, you're still back in the mid 20s in the fucking points with 4 fucking wins.
SVG reminds me of Jamie McMurray in 2010.
yeah,
McMurray won 3 races and he didn't make the chase.
Yeah,
yeah. I I'm
I
okay
mean,
with I'm okay with SVG because he did win 4 races, and it wasn't
I
like
mean,
he
I get
bumped
that,
into him and he destroyed them. Now, I do think you should have to be. I don't think you should just have to have completed all the races and won races. I think if you win multiple
Now,
races, you've attempted every race. I still think you should have to be 25th in points or better, in my opinion.
but I've been saying that, and in that scenario, SVG makes it and Dylan doesn't.
And that's fine. You waited too late.
which is fine. Yeah,
I mean,
But
at least then you're so this is where I was going to get to it later with the triangle thing. Then your
well,
integrity isn't a mockery.
yeah.
Um,
To answer my own question, mine is Kyle Busch.
all right. So
Kyle
Kyle
Busch
Busch is
missing
your
the
surprise
playoffs
that didn't make it.
two
Mine,
years in a row, not winning 2 years in a row is just baffling to me. So he is my surprise. Like, wow, he didn't make it. I cannot believe that.
yeah.
I that's the one that I wanted to say, but honestly, I really don't think it's a fucking surprise for me because I'm sorry, but I think we are legitimately seeing the same thing happen to fucking Childress right now that we watched happen to fucking Roush.
Yep.
It's been a
Um,
slow, steady fucking decline to the fucking toilet. It
Yep.
bit Mark Martin in the ass. It almost bit fucking Kenseth and everybody. I mean,
Yeah, they're
Biffle
definitely bit
left.
Biffle the best.
Yep. Edwards fucking, I think, waited too fucking long. Edwards probably should have had multiple championships if he would have fucking left way earlier.
yep.
Kenseth would have had multiple championships if he left way
He,
earlier.
he's got a shared championship.
A
With
what?
Tony with the tie.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Kansas. Sorry.
Uh,
Like, what?
But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think from a health and standpoint, RCR is going to have to go get a new set of eyes from the outside to rebuild and do some stuff. I think Richard's holding on too tight. And you can kind of hear it when you listen to some of the interviews. Like
You can
he's
hear with Austin.
yeah, you
Some
can
of the
hear
shit
that's
that's
what I was
coming
gonna
out
say.
of
With
Austin's
Austin
mouth.
and them, like you could tell that, him and Austin and Ty are trying to take the company in one direction. Richard's still holding on too tight, trying to go a different, still the old school direction. And if you want to be competitive, you're gonna have to give up some of the control. And you're probably gonna have to go get another person. RF, Fenway, Roush Fenway went and got Brad. You've got Mark's taken over his deal. Denny's got his own deal. Like clearly, you need to change direction, 100%.
You need
So
somebody to come in and say, "Let's paint the floors. Let's clean this dust off the wall."
like it's
You
time to
know,
start over. Let's start
yeah.
clean. Let's yep.
I nominate they get Ben Kennedy.
He's
Jesus fucking Christ, here
not on
it
the
is.
janitorial line yet, but maybe one day. So, all right. So we've got our 16 people set. We're going to Darlington. Larson and Byron are up 26. Denny's up 23. Blaney's up 20. Bell 17. Get SVG 16. Chase 7. Briscoe 4. Bubba 2. Cedric 2. Ross 1. Magano 1. Barry behind by 1. Reddick behind by 1. Dylan down by 2. Bowman down by 5. Now
And
let's
real
our
quick,
first round of tracks. Go ahead.
how how amazed are we all that Ryan Blaney, who had 4 to 5 engine failures and bad race after bad race, finished second in points?
That's a hell of a turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, at one point he was 10th in points,
Yep.
and when they when he finished second, I was just like looking around, going, I can't believe he even had a shot with
Yeah.
the amount of engine failures he had. That just shows you how bad of a summer Byron, Chase, and Larson had.
Yeah, that shows you the amount of points they coughed up because they were way
Yeah.
out there. And Denny. Um,
Then he missed a race and had a chance.
yep. So we got Darlington, Gateway, Bristol for the first round. So who do we think goes out in the first round out of all those?
Well, me and Chris had this discussion,
Okay.
and
Who y'all got?
SVG's out
All right.
because Chastain's just better on ovals. And
Okay.
it was between those two as the last car out.
Okay.
Do you agree with that, Chris?
I don't.
Oh, well, you changed your mind since we talked.
I didn't change my mind. You're the one that kind of ended that conversation
All
with
right.
Chastain, but
So
I think
again,
I
Darlington, Gateway,
we
Bristol.
we had the same team, just a different driver.
Okay.
Because I think SVG, even with what he did yesterday, proved even more to what I was trying to tell you when we were on the phone. All he's got to do is fucking finish where he's been finishing, and he's not going to give up enough points.
So round 18th.
16
He
I
points.
finished.
just think finishing
So
18th is
SVG
not good
starts with a
enough.
16-point cushion. That's not a lot. That's less
How
than two
much of his,
speeds.
how much is his cushion over Chastain?
His cushion over Chastain, 15 points.
Yeah, Chastain's better than him on oval. Chastain is really good at Darlington.
I don't I
Just
don't think
Darlington alone is
I don't
gonna.
I
think
mean,
Chastain's going to be the one that knocks him out, though. I mean, when you look at who's below, again, we're going to Darlington, Gateway, Bristol, and
Who
who's
won Gateway
below
last
right
year?
now. The people that are below, Reddick, Dillon, Bowman, Barry. I think the people that knock him out come from the people that are below, not the people that are in above him. Because yes, he's got 15 points, but when you look at the cars that the three tracks we're going to, Reddick's good at Darlington. Barry was good at Darlington. Bowman's decent there. Dillon, Then you go to Bristol.
Dylan's not good. Dylan's not good there at all.
No, but then you go to Bristol and Gateway. Well, Gateway, I'm expecting something from Dillon because of the
I,
soft tire.
I'm expecting something from Cindric at Gateway.
Right.
A lot of people have Cindric out. Cindric won Gateway last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I'm
I don't
just
see
I'm
any
just looking
reason.
I'm just looking at it from the standpoint. All his crew chief has to do is pull fucking strategy and get him stage points. He doesn't have to fucking he doesn't have to fucking pull off a fucking fantastic finish.
You have to. if the first stage doesn't have a caution, what kind of strategy is going to get you in the top 10 to get stage points?
How many races are we going to that you're not going to have a pit stop or anything? Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There, I think he's got more ways to keep himself in than he does to get knocked out, though.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know.
looking at just those three races and who I think is going to go out first in the first round, my wild card person that's going to go out first, that'll be a shocker. I have Bell going out early.
No way.
You say that, and they've got one more point than SVG, but they have not been able to get out of their own damn way, and their teammate has been better than them, Briscoe, since the middle half. Bell has not sniffed a win since the middle of the summer.
At least in Darlington, I would say.
Right. So I don't see them making it. If they, and again, they're my dark horse for the people who are well above the cut line, but I could see them going out. If anybody's going to go out that's higher up, I think it's going to be Bell.
Okay.
That's like way up there. So I have the 20 going out for mine. Darlington, Bristol, Gateway. Darlington, Bristol, Gateway. I'm going to have Bell go out, Austin, Barry, and somebody else from above the lines coming out. Trying to decide between Chastain and Chase, honestly. Because chasing them again, like when they're consistent, they're good, but they only have 7 points. 7 points ain't a lot
Yeah, but
to the other people. I'm in agreement with Chris. I think
hold on. They
SVG
only have they're only +7. Okay.
they only have
They
7 points, a 7 point cushion. This is what I mean. I'm looking at the
right.
cushion to the cut line. They only have a 7 point cushion.
I don't
So
know. He's got a 12.5 average finish, I believe, or 12. He's got a 12.0 average finish for the entire year. You think that he's just gonna
crater
implode?
that now. No, I'm just saying a
He's
7 point cushion with who he's
he's
racing right
not.
now.
There's been one race he hasn't finished on the lead lap. One,
I
and it was the
just
wreck at Richmond. I don't see it. As
right.
much as I don't like the 9, I don't see that.
Right, but now we're at a place where 12.5 average finish for someone like him starting behind these guys with the other points isn't going to save your ass. You're going to have to go. Like I just
The math says you have to average 16.5 to get out of the first round.
well, here's where I think the problem's going to be though. Okay. Of the HMS cars, Chase has not been very good at Bristol lately. He's been caught up in tons of wrecks there. Gateway against small track.
The whole team sucks at Gateway.
Right, so the whole team sucks at Gateway, which means you're putting to me, we're putting all of Chase's eggs in Darlington. And he's hit and miss there. He's good, but he also gets taken out. So I don't know.
Well, it could
I
very
feel
easily
like
be
of the
Larson
HMS
too, because
cars,
look, Larson
again,
wrecked himself on lap 3 in
yeah.
the spring, and he's not good at Gateway. He's fantastic at Bristol
Now, Bowman did collect and average the most points last year across the playoffs. So
until
eh,
wait until Waitgate.
yeah. You know what? You're right. I'm gonna I'm gonna change one pick out. I'll leave Chase in, so it's gonna be Bowman, Dillon, Barry, Bell. Those are my four out.
I
Bowman,
can't
Dillon,
believe
Barry,
how
Bell.
that's crazy.
You changed my mind. I think I'm probably crazy with Bell, but I just don't see the performance. They haven't been performing,
So
and I don't think you're gonna come in there. Not that it's not possible. Tony Stewart showed it's possible, and Bowman showed it last year by gathering all those points, but I just don't see them turning it around. They haven't been able to find it. And if you're not found it by now with the way this car works, I think you're in trouble.
I
Who
think
are your
Dylan's
four?
out, SVG's out,
Yeah.
um, Barry more than likely, and don't know. I want to say Cindric, but he's just where he won Gateway last year. That's what's got me a little off on Cindric.
All right, so I'm going to make a little notepad here because we're going to talk again after Bristol. All right, so Alan, I've got Barry, not Barry, Barry, Dylan,
Burn.
Bell, and Bowman. Okay. Blake, you've got SVG. Who else?
Dylan,
Yeah.
um, Barry. I'm having a hard time with the fourth one.
Yeah, they're a lot tighter in points than I think they've ever been going in.
They
It's going to
are.
be tight.
Somebody mentioned that it's the tightest playoff points they've ever been. Um, just having a hard time seeing the field in my head. I should have had a bracket laying in front of me.
But like looking at it,
Honestly, possibly the 22.
okay. Well, I mean, I would agree, except for, Cindric ran well there at Gateway. Joey's won the Southern 500, you know, and he's
But
won Darlington a couple times
but
now.
they have outside of Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney is the anomaly here. That they haven't really looked good there the last 2 years.
No, in the fall, no, I agree. But he did go there and win in the spring. So I'm not
Well, yeah,
ready to count the
he wrecked
22 out.
Byron to do it.
So hey, I'm perfectly fine with that. Wall his ass.
Yeah, me too.
So who's your fourth one gonna be? You're gonna say Logano?
Yeah,
All right. What about you, Mr. Barry?
I would probably say Barry, Dylan, Chastain, and Elliott.
All right.
wow.
Then the next column, the next thing I want to talk about
He
is so
said,
those are our
"Wow."
cut predictions.
But Chase Elliott just randomly falling off is just blowing my mind.
Yeah.
That you
I
guys
mean,
are.
we'll see. So that's cut one. So now
And
let's skip.
anybody that knows me knows that I hate Chase Elliott. The fact that
Yep.
I'm advocating for the fact that you are nuts.
I mean, we probably are, but we're gonna find out. So
Well,
now the question
what
becomes,
you
who's your
pushed me.
final four?
You pushed me to it. You pushed me to making that decision because you sat here and just legitimately argued, saying that Chase Elliott's going to make it in the same way that fucking SVG is going to get knocked out. You son of a bitch.
Yep. And the difference is, chat or
Well,
SVG's
what
got
I'm
more
saying
points.
is
He's got a
even
whole
with the
stage worth
bat,
more points.
even with being wrecked out at Richmond, his average finish is 12-0. And you're trying to tell me that he's not going to do a 16.5 average finish to make it to round two? I just don't see it.
He only needs to
Find
fucking
out.
stumble. Yeah.
All right. So now let's go conversely. So those are our first four out. Who's your final four? Because I think this is equally as hard. Who's the final four? I gave y'all mine. I think it's going to be the 11, the 19, the
Yeah,
12, 22.
I laughed that you didn't have a Hendrick car in there.
I know,
Just
but I mean, I'm just saying, when you look at the way the round's set up and the struggles that HMS has had at short tracks, the struggles they've had at road courses, like I don't have a good feeling. So I've got Briscoe, Logano, Denny, Blaney, the final four. That's my final four.
the
I might be
Briscoe
fucking
thing cracks
crazy.
me up. The Briscoe thing cracks me up because I'm the only one. I'm the only motherfucker here preseason that had him winning twice. Twice I had him winning. He's won.
Look, I'm a bandwagon, a bandwagon, a bandwagon, bandwagon,
He's so
a bandwagon fan. A bandwagon fan. I'm just getting on that bandwagon. I feel like Briscoe is going to get it done.
Ain't no way.
So, all right, who's your final four, Blake? Give it to me.
I had it earlier. I'm going to try to remember it. And
Okay.
y'all are going to be like, what?
All right.
What?
The 5,
Okay.
the 24, the 23, and the unfortunately the 12.
Okay. All right.
Ah,
Bubba to me, there's a shock. Larson's a little bit of a shock to me. Not because, and I think he gets close there, but the problem is leading into there
Here,
for them.
here's why I almost didn't pick Larson, but if you look at it, he basically almost wins the Southern 500 almost every day in fall.
Yeah.
And if he's able to lock that down, that's 5 more points. And then if he does Bristol like he normally does, that's 5 more points. So it's just you got to look at possibly winning the races throughout the bracket
You're not
and
wrong. I
extending
guess
your
I didn't
point
take
lead.
that into account,
So, so
but
I've
the
I'm
win
taking
I've
that
thing
into
you
account.
possibly
And
do.
everybody's giving
Okay.
the Roval to SVG. Everybody's forgetting how good Larson is at the Roval. So I'm giving the Roval to Larson
All
as
right.
well.
So just
I
so we're
So
clear, just like
I
you said,
fucked
I'm
up on
high
my
for
four
not
out
picking
too.
Larson. I think you're high for thinking that anybody other than SVG is going to win the Roval.
they all said he was going to
He's
win
going to
last
go
year.
there having to win, and he's been
I've got a
playing with
door
his
number.
food like a cat playing with a
I've
mouse
got a
all
door number
season.
sitting over here. If Larson's Roval win last year.
I'm not
So
saying, look, I'm not saying he's not good there. I'm just saying SVG's been sitting there like a cat playing with a fucking mouse with three legs, like with his
the
food all
Roval
season
race
at the
is
road
way
courses. And now he's
different
going
than
to go
road
somewhere where he's
courses.
got to win. He's going to smoke him.
The Roval doesn't race like a road course, though. They've all said it.
Just saying. He
Okay,
ate
I
pretty much
I
everywhere else. And they
I
were like,
fucked
we're
up
going to Watkins Glen, somewhere we've all been.
Chris fucked up, Alan. Let's hear it.
I fucked up on my four out.
Okay.
I forgot Reddick. I think it'll be Reddick gets knocked out, not fucking Elliott.
Okay. All right. I think Reddick is going to do just well enough to skate in. That's the only reason why I didn't pick him. I think he's going to do just well
They,
enough. But
but they've been pulling fucking what you were talking about with Bell. They can't stay out of their own
oh,
fucking
oh,
way
I agree. It
lately.
won't surprise me if the 20 and the 45 are both out after the first round. The 45 more so won't be a surprise to me because they've been stepping on it, but the 20 is going to be
I
there with them. They just
yeah
have a little bit more cushion to cough up before they get
I
there.
I forgot about the fucking 45 being back there though, and I see him going out before the nine.
Okay. Well,
Even if the nine doesn't go out and fucking perform fucking spectacular in the first three, I just don't see Reddick. He's unfortunately Reddick and Bubba are a lot alike. If they don't have the fucking confidence right now, they run
yep.
like shit. Both
You know
of them.
how he'd get
They're both
faster?
fucking
You
horrible
cut
for
that fucking hair. He'd get faster.
it.
Because
He fucking
everybody, even his own teammates, are like, I
I'm
don't know
sorry.
what he's doing with that hair.
Every time I interview him, I have to walk away. He's the whiniest driver I've ever seen in my life. He
So,
cries every time they talk to him.
yeah.
What you weren't around when Gordon was around?
I've never heard anybody complain as much as Reddick. Oh my god.
Oh no, sorry, that's just Gordon fans. My bad.
I'm looking
Yeah.
back to when was the last time Bell won? May in the
Well, he
All-Star
won three in a
race.
row.
Yeah,
He
he
won
won three
three
in
in
a
a
row.
row.
Right, right. So he won the All-Star race, and that's it. Before that, it was March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's again, I feel like, yeah, you're in trouble, bro. Like you spent your load too soon. Where Byron spread it out, Denny spread
The
it out.
baby's already here.
Yep. So, all right, Chris, who's your four that make it to the end?
Did we lose him?
Fuck, I know I got stuck on the fucking the four being eliminated, and right now I don't know how you can keep Blaney out.
Okay.
Um, Denny even missing a race, I think has run well enough. He's going to be there.
Okay.
Um, Unfortunately, I think you might be wrong on your prediction with the 20 going out. I think the 20 may make it in the five.
Bell and Larson. All right. So we definitely all have some different perspectives there. And then my last question for you, based off our picks, we we all have Blaney in there, and Phoenix is still the end. Does anybody dethrone Penske from making it four in a row?
The
With
only way they're gonna is if they keep him out of the final four. Honestly, is
okay.
my opinion. I
Because
mean, it's going to be hard. I mean, Blaney's literally going to have to. I mean, they're going to have problems.
it's hard to gauge because of this. In the spring race, he blew an engine while running eighth, and he'd been running eighth to 10th all day. So conventional wisdom would tell you that they've possibly over the winter lost something there. I think we'll have a better gauge of what Blaney has after Gateway.
And Loud.
Because Gateway and Phoenix, in my opinion, and New Hampshire, yes, show what Phoenix will be.
So this was my justification on why I picked who I picked. I'm looking at the schedule this year versus last year. All right, so we open with Darlington, Gateway, Bristol. We follow it with New Hampshire, Kansas, the Roval. Joey is a fucking monster at Kansas. So is Blaney. They're
So
really
is
good on the
Larson.
flat tracks. I know, so is Larson, but I mean, I'm expecting them to run well there, is my point. You've
Okay.
got New Hampshire is going to play right into their hands. Gateway, I think, is going to play right into their hands. Martinsville, going to play right into their hands. They're going to have the fastest cars at Talladega. The only way I see Penske not going 4 for 4 and having to settle it again between Blaney and Logano is if they get taken out early, or if Briscoe makes it to the Final Four and takes it from him, because he's the only other car that's threatened them the last 3 years at Phoenix. He's been the only one fast enough.
Except for Chastain.
Well, yeah, and Chastain, and I don't see Chastain. I just don't see them getting that far just because of their speed isn't there. He hasn't had it
It
all year.
also depends on the last run. If the last run's a short or long run, because Blaney's speed is always in long run. Always.
So I'm going to say Penske wins their fourth straight. I don't, and I think it will be Blaney getting his second to go with Logano's third, but Logano's won 2 of the last 3.
But
So
it's
it's
an
hard
but it's
to,
an even year.
I know, but I know that
He's
conventional
lucky he made the
Or an odd year,
playoffs.
I mean.
wisdom says no, but if anybody knows how to win when it matters most, I mean, the 22 team does. It's
Yeah.
hard to bet against that. I mean, they have proven time and again they
Not
understand
only
how to.
not only a driver in Joey Logano, but a fucking crew chief and Paul Wolf.
Yeah,
That's dangerous.
I mean, they were very much in contention to win that race this weekend, and they were fast at Richmond again. So
Yeah, I think that spin probably took the race away from him this weekend.
Yep. So we're going to Bristol, Gateway. Gateway, I expect to be good. Like, just when you look at the tracks that Penske runs well at, that Joey, Blaney, Cindric run well at, like it, I have a hard time thinking Penske's going to get dethroned with the order of tracks we have this year. You think they will, Blake, or no?
Uh, like I said, I think he'll get there. It's hard to gauge based off of Phoenix Spring. He just didn't show much for me. But Phoenix Spring, they did have the two different tire sets.
The 2 different tire sets, and they tried something different. I guarantee
Yeah.
you they're going to go back to what worked and what they've been spanking everybody with the last 2 years.
Well, I mean,
To start, at least.
they're gonna bring the prime tire to the race, so it's just it it's hard to gauge. Like I said, it'll be harder or easier to figure out once you see New Hampshire and Gateway.
You don't get to
How
do
they,
that, TJ. You got to give me an answer now.
uh,
DJ. Oh fuck.
I obviously want Larson, but I don't think he can beat any of the 3 that are in the final
I'm
4
just
with
saying,
him.
anybody, like, do you think if JGR gets there, can they dethrone him? Based on how Briscoe ran there,
I
how
don't
Bell's
have
run there
JGR
before,
getting there.
if Bell, based on Bell's setups in the past there, like his spring performance, if they didn't have the brake rotor issue, they're a contender, 2 years ago.
Honestly,
So
it with my lineup of 4, if the 23 brings the car they had at Richmond and run the same way but don't have any issues, you could see Bubba Wallace win the championship.
yeah. All right. So do you want me to put you in the yes column? They're not going to collect a fourth straight title.
They are not going to collect a 4th straight title.
All right. What about you, Chris?
I like I said, I think the only way they're not going to is if somebody can knock them out beforehand.
I'm gonna put you in a no. They can't be delayed, dethroned.
I'll be right back.
I got a Joey
I'll be
Logano
right back.
autograph championship Phoenix win over there. I got to go look at and see. But it says that's the third. So, but yeah, so I saved that. That's our final four picks, our first four out, and will Penske be dethroned? I have a feeling like the way this is lined up so far, and all they did was make the tracks better for them. It's like it's hard to say that they're not going to get there and have two of them in there again and run the table again. The only difference is, like I said, I agree with you. It's not Logano's year. It's the other, and I can easily see where Blaney goes out and wins his second.
I'm just hoping that the powers that be possibly change it back to a chase for next year because the playoffs are just kind of washed out for me. It just there's too much of consistency doesn't matter.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, I mean, to me, when you look at this year's schedule and you look at the one for the last four, this to me works out similar in the same way that it worked out for Jimmy Johnson and the 48 team during the chase. When you had those. Now, I grant, again, if you had the track variability, I don't think Jimmy Johnson wins seven. But I think with the tracks layered out the way they are right now, even with the variability, Penske has put an emphasis on their short track program, knowing Phoenix is the end. I guarantee you next year that won't be their focus. They're going to have all their chips back in the mile and a half basket because when it was at the mile and a halfs and it was at Homestead, where was Joe Logano king of? Kansas.
Yeah,
Vegas.
He was
Kansas,
in
Vegas.
Vegas. He was at Vegas and Kansas, and he was damn near impossible to beat. So I think they
How many
purposefully, I think
Pennzoil
Penske
paint schemes have
strategizes
confetti
specifically
on
to
them, Chris?
give up advantages based on where the schedule is going to be and where we're going to race. And I think that's smart, honestly, because as long as you
Chris,
win
how many?
along the way, go ahead.
Chris, how many Pennzoil paint schemes have confetti on them from Vegas?
3, if I'm not mistaken.
Hell, it might be 4.
Said I just know based off of
Because I know
based
Brad
off,
had 3. I think Joey has 3.
yeah, you can look at.
Lars.
I mean, Kansas is why Matt Kansas put Joey Logano on the fucking wall. So
Yeah, that's why Martinsville happened.
right. So that's all I'm saying is when you go look at all right, well, Kansas is going to be in the playoffs next year, right?
Yeah,
Yep. Okay, so Kansas is going to be in the playoffs next year, along
Kansas,
with
Vegas.
Gateway and Darlington and Vegas. And now we're going to end at Homestead. Like, if you think it lines up bad for everybody right now in Penske's favor, it really doesn't line up good for everybody next year if you don't change something with this format. Joey, good at Darlington. They're all going to be good at Gateway. They're good at Bristol. Knowing that Kansas is a separator now, and we're finishing at Homestead, Kansas, Vegas, Phoenix is still in there, Martinsville's still in there, Dega's in there. Like, if they win four, I won't be surprised if they win five. I know that's a way early prediction, but looking at the Cup schedule, if those guys all make it into the thing next year and nothing changes with this format, I can imagine us having this same conversation next year. Does Penske go 5 for 5? And they would be the first team to do 5 for 5 since HMS did it with Jimmy Johnson. And that was over a decade ago. And the first time it had ever happened. So, I mean, when you look at that, like it's really something to think about. And it's not out of the realm of possibility, especially with how well their drivers are, how good their drivers are now at those tracks.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you give them back Brad and got rid of Cindric, everybody's in real fucking trouble. Because Brad was really good at all those tracks too in Penske cars. So, but all right. Well, that's all I got other than the
Yeah, I think the only one that was better at those tracks in Penske cars than Joey was Brad.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean, I thinking about it based off this year, then looking at that schedule for next year. If they don't change something on these cars, and you don't change that format, Roger Penske may become a 5-time consecutive Cup champion owner.
6-time champ too.
Yep. Quickly climbing the ladder. So,
Dude, it
Hendrick.
still blows my fucking mind how many people don't realize that Rusty Wallace's championship was not with the two.
yeah, with the 27.
It blows my mind.
With the Kodiak car.
And how many people don't know that fucking Richard Petty's all 7 of his championships were not with fucking Childress?
You mean
Damn.
Earnhardt?
Or
Well, I think we all know they weren't with.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't. They think every
no,
one of
I agree.
his championships came in the 3 car, and it didn't.
No, got on the 2.
And it's also amazing how many people don't realize that all 7 of Petty's championships are, yeah. Nah, I forgot what the fuck I was going with that one. But
I know what you're talking about, though. He didn't win them all driving for himself. He did go drive for somebody else for a bit.
Yeah. No, he didn't. I thought one of his. Oh no! All 7 of his championships did come with Inman. Inman actually went somewhere and won an 8th.
Yeah. So. Right,
that's what I was thinking.
So who's going to win Darlington before we go?
Who's going to win Darlington?
Kyle Busch.
That would be great, and he'd be pissed the whole time that he won. He'd be happy he won. Kyle Busch fan club would be happy because they get to get laid. If you listen to DBC, and,
I just want to see him get in victory lane again and fucking badmouth the car like he did the COT.
Same. if he's going to win this year, it's either going to be there or Bristol. Other than that, he's out. But as far as who's going to win Darlington, we're going to start off. I think it'll be between the 5 and the 24.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Except I think Larson's tired of being the good teammate, so I think Byron better tighten them fucking belts.
Yeah. I mean, it could be Denny as well, or
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Well, that's the other thing is like that's the other guy that if those two don't cough it up, Denny's going to be right there to take it for sure. So,
I think at this point, I think Chad's or I think Cliff's had enough, and he's going to fucking. Why the fuck do I keep thinking fucking Chad Johnson? God damn.
Yeah.
Cliff Daniels, I think I think he's done. And I think the attitude that Cliff has, I think a little bit is starting. I mean, it was awesome to see how many times fucking Larson would get that run like he was going to go up and push the 24 and just change lanes. After the shit that happened at fucking Indy, that was
and that's why I think
hilarious.
I think that's coming. I think it's where.
Yeah, I think fucking shit. Cliff is, especially with the way, just the conversations I've had with Cliff the couple times I've been in the fucking garage area. I think Cliff is to the point now where, yeah, we don't have time to dick around with this shit anymore. Yep. Especially with a teammate.
Yep. So, all right,
but I think it's either going to be the 5. Like I said, but it's going to be so fucking hard to keep that 11 out of victory lane there.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree.
I see Cliff getting these guys back on fucking track and putting the 5 back in victory lane.
They haven't won since early May, and it's time.
Yeah.
We'll find out. All right, folks. Well, that's our show. We'll see you after this weekend where we land on if our predictions still look good for who's coming out based on who stubs their toe right out of the gate. And we'll talk to y'all after Darlington. Have a good one.
Later.
Later.